The Philippines is 7,641 islands. Every major civilization that moved through Southeast Asia passed through it. Chinese merchants centuries before colonization, Spanish galleons for 333 years, American occupation for half a century after that. The food that developed here is the record of every arrival and every resistance. This was collision, survival, and transformation happening across islands that never fully agreed with each other, in kitchens that kept their own rules regardless of what empire was governing outside. Most of the world has tasted these dishes without knowing where they came from. These are 10 foods born here. Sinigang. Sinigang is the oldest preparation on this list, and the one that belongs entirely to the Philippines before any foreign ship arrived. The souring agent is sampalok, tamarind, a specific indigenous fruit that produces a broth unlike anything else in Southeast Asian soup traditions. The sourness comes from tamarind specifically, which sets it apart from other sour soups in the region that rely on citrus, vinegar, or fermented paste. Meat or seafood goes into the broth along with vegetables, kangkong, radish, eggplant, and the tamarind reduction defines every other element in the pot. Regional variations exist. Kamias, green mango, batwan. Each region substituted whatever acidic fruit grew locally. But tamarind became the standard, and that standardization happened entirely within the Philippines, on Philippine terms. Sour soups appear in many food traditions around the world, but sinigang is unusual in that the sourness is the defining characteristic the entire dish is built around. Adobo. Adobo is the dish the Spanish named and did not make. When colonial ships arrived in the 16th century, they found Filipino kitchens already preserving meat in vinegar and aromatics, a method practiced here long before any European power had a word for it. The Spanish called it adobar, to marinate. They gave it a name. They did not give it an origin. The vinegar already in use was sukang paombong, nipa palm vinegar, fermented from a tree specific to this archipelago, a souring agent Spain had never encountered and could not have introduced. The garlic, the bay leaf, the black pepper, those are the colonial additions. The vinegar and the method are not. Every region in the Philippines makes adobo differently. Some dry it down completely, some keep the sauce, some use coconut milk. That variation happened here over centuries, without outside instruction. Kare-kare. Kare-kare is a peanut-based stew that cannot be eaten without bagoong alamang, fermented shrimp paste, served alongside it. The bagoong is the other half of the dish's flavor structure, and without it the stew is unfinished by design. Oxtail, tripe, and vegetables are slow-cooked in a thick peanut sauce until the fat separates and the sauce coats every piece completely. The peanut base likely arrived through pre-colonial trade with Malay and Indian merchants moving through the archipelago before any European ship appeared. The oxtail came later. What Pampanga built from those components, and the specific pairing with bagoong that no other Southeast Asian cuisine replicated, has no equivalent anywhere in the region. Two things that must exist together to become one dish. That pairing is not preference, it is construction. Remove the bagoong and you have not simplified the dish, you have broken it. There's still a whole world out there we haven't explored yet. So if you want to see where we go next, make sure you subscribe. And tell me in the comments where we should travel next. Sisig. Sisig is a Pampanga creation built from the parts of the pig that one culture discarded and another refused to waste. Cheeks, ears, snout, chopped, grilled, then chopped again, and finished on a sizzling iron plate with onion, chili, and calamansi squeezed over the top at the moment of serving. The double cooking method and the calamansi finish are specific to this preparation. No other cuisine built this sequence from these parts in this form. The origin is traceable to a single person and a single city. Lucia Cunanan, known as the Sisig Queen, formalized the sizzling plate preparation in Angeles City, Pampanga in the 1970s. The head parts used came from scraps discarded by American military bases operating nearby. Pampanga cooks took what one empire threw away, built a preparation around it that did not exist before, and produced the most replicated Filipino dish of the last 50 years. Bibingka. Bibingka is a rice cake, baked in a method that no other food tradition developed in quite this form. A clay pot lined with banana leaves, live charcoal placed beneath the vessel and above it simultaneously, heat coming from both directions at once and closing the batter completely. The foundation is galapong, fermented rice batter, indigenous to the archipelago, and in use here long before any colonial period began. The Spanish arrived and added salted egg and quesong puti on top, layering Catholic feast day significance onto a preparation that already existed without them. The core technique, however, remained unchanged. The clay pot, the banana leaves, the charcoal above and below, all of that stayed exactly as it was. The Spanish additions exist only at the level of toppings and occasion. The fermentation method, the vessel, and the cooking structure is all built by the Philippines and was never displaced. Halo Halo. Halo Halo is a layered dessert that is also a historical record. Shaved ice, evaporated milk, preserved fruits, beans, jellies, lech flan, and uba ice cream, assembled in a single glass in a specific sequence that is not arbitrary. Each layer traces to a different arrival. The Japanese community in the Philippines before World War II brought kakigori-style shaved ice traditions to the country. Spanish colonization introduced leche flan, a milk and egg custard that has no pre-colonial equivalent here. The ube is pre-colonial. Purple yam grown and eaten in the archipelago centuries before any foreign ship arrived. No other country received all three of these influences in the same place at the same time, which is the only reason this dessert exists in this form. Halo Halo means mix mix. The name is a literal description of how it's eaten. Everything gets stirred together before you drink it, which distributes the flavors and prevents the shaved ice from sitting separately on top. Kinilaw. Kinilaw is a raw fish preparation that predates every colonial chapter in Philippine history and will be compared to ceviche by anyone who has not eaten it carefully enough. The comparison is incorrect. Ceviche uses citrus. Kinilaw uses sukang tuba, coconut vinegar, or sukang ilocos, sugarcane vinegar, both fermented from crops indigenous to this archipelago, both producing a curing effect that citrus acid cannot replicate. The fish is not cooked by heat, it is cured by fermentation. Ginger, onion, and siling labuyo go in with the vinegar, and the fish is turned until the exterior changes completely, while the interior stays clean. That specific result, the texture, the cure depth, the finish, is a function of the vinegar and nothing else. Pre-colonial Austronesian seafaring cultures carried acid-curing techniques across the Pacific. The Philippines formalized it using vinegars specific to its own land. Peru did the same thing later with citrus and called it ceviche. Pinakbet. Pinakbet is an Ilocano dish, and the distinction matters. Not Filipino in the general sense, Ilocano specifically, from the northern Luzon region where the land is dry, the agriculture is precise, and the food reflects both of those conditions exactly. Bitter melon, eggplant, okra, squash, string beans, and tomato, each one a crop that grows in the Ilocos region specifically, combined in a single pot and fermented with bagong isda, fermented fish paste, as the primary flavoring agent. That choice is Ilocano before it is Filipino. The Ilocano relationship with fermented fish as a seasoning base is distinct within Philippine food culture itself, which is already distinct from everything around it. No colonial power introduced this combination. No outside tradition produced this specific assembly of local vegetables around a fermented fish base. The Ilocos region built it from what the Ilocos region grows. Dinuguan. Dinuguan is a preparation that 300 years of colonial rule did not change and 50 years of American occupation did not remove. Pork offal, intestines, ears, snout, simmered in fresh pig's blood, vinegar, and chili until the liquid reduces into a thick, dark, savory stew that coats everything completely. The blood is not an accent, it is the sauce. The use of animal blood as a primary cooking liquid traces to indigenous Philippine food traditions that predate every foreign arrival to the archipelago. Spanish, Chinese, and Malay culinary influence touched many other aspects of Philippine cooking, but dinuguan shows none of it. The dish reflects a set of techniques and ingredients that were already established here before any of those contacts began. Colonial powers changed the language spoken in these islands, changed the religion practiced in these islands, and changed the name of nearly everything. Dinuguan remained exactly as it was. Lying. Lying is a Bicol dish, and the technical knowledge required to make it correctly is as specific as the region it comes from. Dried taro leaves, coconut milk, pork, bagung, and siling labuyo. Every primary ingredient in this dish grows within the region that created it. The drying of the leaves is not a preference or a shortcut. Fresh taro leaves contain calcium oxalate crystals that cause severe irritation. The drying neutralizes them. That specific requirement, knowing what the leaf needs before anything else happens, is embedded in Bicolano cooking knowledge and passed down within the region. The heat level of Bicolano food is the highest in the Philippines, which reflects the abundance of siling labuyo in the area. The chili has been integrated into the regional food tradition for centuries and defines the flavor register of everything the region produces. The combination of these ingredients around this specific technical knowledge developed within Bicol, from what the region grows and what cooks there understood over generations. The Philippines has been described as a food culture shaped by what arrived there. That framing has it backwards. What defines it is what Philippine kitchens did with what arrived, and what they refused to surrender entirely. A tofu street food transformed by one indigenous sugar, a discarded pig face rebuilt into the most replicated dish the country has produced, a dessert that is a colonial record served in a glass. The world is still finding out what this table looks like.